Yeah.
This is fake as hell, man.
I just paid $1,500 for that.
Ouch.
Is it worth anything?
Yeah, maybe about $100.
While many of the deals made on the television show Pawn Stars bring the stars of the show a ton of money, sometimes even these savvy businessmen can come out of a deal with a dud. Keep watching to find out the worst deal of all time, made, well, by Chumlee. But first, let's revisit some of the all-time worst purchases made by the stars of the show. If there's one thing Rick Harrison really likes snatching during a deal, it's classic guitars with a famous backstory. When a customer came to the shop with a guitar that he claimed to have once belonged to Jimi Hendrix, Rick couldn't help but feel giddy with excitement. Rick was ready to make a deal, but first he brought in his guitar expert Jesse from Cowtown Guitars to check it out. When Jesse checked out the 1963 Olympic white Fender Stratocaster, he was sure that it was once played by the legend himself. Between the serial number, the scuff marks notoriously left behind by Hendrix, and the photo showing Hendrix playing the guitar, there was no doubt in anyone's mind that the guitar was authentic. Jesse told Rick that the guitar could be worth $1 million at auction, and Rick was ready to make an offer. Rick first offered $450,000, but the owner scoffed and started to leave. Rick then upped his offer to $600,000, but the owner still left. Later it was discovered that the guitar was back on the market. The seller? Jesse from Cowtown Guitars. Shady backdoor deals aren't rare in the pawn world, but this one hits close to home. Corey Harrison, known as Big Hoss on the show, is a seasoned pawn star, having grown up in the business, but even he isn't immune to a bad deal. Corey started working at the shop at age 9, polishing doorknobs. When he was 18, Corey was put on the night shift at the shop. Having little experience at the time, Corey was a prime suspect for some late-night scams. When Corey bought 6 fake Rolexes in the span of just 1 week, his family, well, they weren't too happy. He had thrown away $4,000, and the story started to get out in the pawn community. Corey spent some time as a laughingstock, and you better believe he won't be quick to make those mistakes ever again. Always go to the expert. That's the advice that Rick should have taken when he was approached by a customer looking to sell a book with what Rick believed to be an authentic signature of famous baseball player Shoeless Joe Jackson. Rick let his excitement get the better of him, saying this might be the rarest sports signature, period. The signature is so rare because Shoeless Joe was illiterate and could not read or write. A signature would be worth a ton of money. When all was said and done, Rick shelled out $13,000 without so much as consulting his expert. The worst part? Going into the deal, Rick knew that Joe Jackson's signature is one of the most faked in the world. After the deal was made, Rick's expert confirmed the worst. The signature was a fake, and a bad one at that. In one of the most disappointing deals of all time on Pawn Stars, Corey made a huge mistake. When he was approached by a seller looking to unload an authentic Willie Mays game-worn uniform, Corey jumped at the chance. Against the advice of Chumlee, we'll get to his big fumble later, who told Corey that it couldn't be an actual Willie Mays game-worn uniform because it was in pristine condition. Chumlee told him, Willie Mays was sliding around in the dirt and the grass. I imagine there would be a bunch of stains on it. The seller didn't even have paperwork to prove the uniform's authenticity. Despite all these things, Corey shelled out $31,000 to make the deal. After the sale was complete, the Pawn Stars were able to sell the uniform for $19,000. Not nearly enough to recoup the amount that they had spent. The uniform, as it turned out, was in fact not a uniform worn by Willie Mays during a game. It wasn't even worn by Willie Mays ever. The uniform was a sample that was used by a Spalding salesman valued at just $2,000. In the end, the shop did come out with some money. They were able to sell the uniform for $19,000 at auction. But Corey's lack of research caused everyone a huge headache. And now, for the man of the hour, Chumlee. While the bad deals he makes are sure some of the funniest, Chumlee can also make us cringe with how quickly he jumps at the chance to strike a deal. In one instance, a customer came to the shop and approached Chumlee with a Gibson mandolin. Chum called the instrument sweet and only took a few minutes to mull it over. The customer stood firm, saying he wanted $3,000 for it. Chumlee, thinking he was being smart, offered the man $1,500, saying he could make a profit. After the deal was made, the resident guitar and instrument expert took one look at the mandolin and told Chum it was definitely a fake. Chumlee quickly changed his tune as he walked away, muttering, "I hate mandolins." In yet another instance, a box full of comic books crossed paths with Chum, and boy was he excited. As he perused the issues, which included Doctor Strange and Dracula, Chumlee saw dollar signs. The customer was hoping to get $2,000 for the entire box. Chumlee instead offered $500 and was convinced he would wow the rest of the guys in the shop. Unfortunately, when he had the box of comics appraised, he found out they were only worth around $200. One of the worst deals that Chumlee has ever made was when a seller came into the shop looking to unload a Les Paul custom-made US open guitar. The guitar had many tennis greats donning the exterior of the guitar, such as Andre Agassi and Billie Jean King. The seller had received the guitar as a gift, but wasn't too thrilled at the idea of playing a tennis-themed guitar on stage. He was looking to make $5,000, but admitted that the same model without the tennis legends was worth $3,500. Chumlee offered $2,300 and the haggling commenced. The seller came down to $4,000, but that just wasn't low enough. Eventually, Chumlee agreed to $3,500 when he proclaimed he couldn't do this all day. Chumlee again thought he had acquired a priceless piece. However, the resident expert would beg to differ. When all was said and done, there would be no way Chumlee would be able to come close to making what he paid for the strange guitar. Which deal do you think deserves the title of worst purchase ever? Can you think of one that didn't make our list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.